Hello and welcome to South Asia Focus. I'm Smita Prakash. Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri this week delivered a 55-minute video in which he called for the expansion of the Al-Qaeda into the Indian subcontinent while denouncing the Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The new Al-Qaeda entity aims to support what he claims were the oppressed Muslims in the Indian subcontinent. This new entity is being established, he said, to break the artificial borders established by English occupiers in South Asia, including in Bangladesh, India and Myanmar. Quite naturally, the security setup in all the concerned countries called for emergency meetings and look at this new threat in the region. In this episode, we speak with several terrorism experts about Al-Qaeda's Indian subcontinent or South Asia chapter. We spoke with Ajay Sahani, author and expert on counter-terrorism who serves as Executive Director of the Institute for Conflict Management in New Delhi. Major General Afsar Karim, military scholar who has authored several books on strategic affairs and military studies. Uday Bhaskar, columnist, editor and contributor of numerous research articles on nuclear and international security issues to reputed journals in India and abroad. Alok Bansal, military and terrorism expert, currently with the Vivekananda Foundation. Lieutenant General Raj Kadian, who retired as Deputy Chief of Indian Army Staff, expert on military and security affairs. Rahul Jalali, a senior journalist and noted expert on Kashmir conflict. Shahid Siddiqui, former member of Indian Parliament and presently Chief Editor of Nai Duniya. Majid Memon, Member of Parliament and senior lawyer in India. So what did the bespectacled terrorists say that should have the Indian subcontinent worried? Peter Newman, a professor at the King's College London and director of International Centre for Study of Radicalisation says, the message was to show that Al-Qaeda is expanding into new markets where the Islamic State is not present, and frankly, Al-Qaeda is not either. Small networks in Bangladesh and elsewhere that are aligned with the Al-Qaeda haven't been able to do much in 10 years. Bangladesh has ordered an investigation after the video came out to see if any local militant outfit have renewed their links with Al-Qaeda. The Daily Star, a Bangladeshi newspaper, quoting unidentified intelligence officials, reported that despite the security clampdown on Bangladeshi militant outfits and bringing their top leaders to justice over the past several years, there were some Al-Qaeda followers in Bangladesh. These followers, they said, received militant training in Afghanistan and fought for the Al-Qaeda abroad, and they were involved in militancy in Bangladesh as well. Zawahiri's message could also fuel recruitment drives in the Cox's Bazar area in Bangladesh, where Rohingya refugees from Myanmar are living in IDP camps. It is feared that Buddhist extremists in Myanmar could use the Zawahiri video to fuel anti-Muslim violence. Since 2012, over 140,000 Muslims, mainly Rohingyas, have been displaced as a result of anti-Muslim attacks. Al-Qaeda is now fishing in troubled waters. Religious conflicts in the region provide fertile ground for jihadist ideologues to get new recruits. Fearing loss of ground support to ISIS, the Al-Qaeda is now out to gain foothold in South Asia.
You can see a certain jostling going on between the Al-Qaeda on one hand and the IS on the other. And if you study this video carefully, there are repeated theological references to Islam, and the suggestion that IS is not the correct representative of this ideology of jihad and various other aspects that Al-Qaeda has internalized. And why I was struck by the word discord is that Al-Qaeda is trying to point out that IS is subscribing to sectarian violence within Islam, meaning whether it is Shia Sunni or it is the minorities, and that Al-Qaeda does not believe in it. And they have also made a specific reference to Mullah Omar, meaning that they want to retain Afghanistan as the equivalent of their base. Because in many ways, I think the non-state groups are also positioning themselves for the post-2014 scenario in Afghanistan.
Experts say that historically the Al-Qaeda has not been successful in South Asia, unlike in the Middle East.
There has been a progressive movement within Pakistan of many India-directed groups like the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the Indian Mujahideen, the Jaish-e-Mohammed, the Harkatul-Jihad Islami. All of these groups have had long-term connections with the al-Qaeda leadership. So I do not see any dramatic shift or change in this new announcement. It is just a propaganda tool to continue a process of provocation, a process in which they are trying to attract Indian cadres or cadres from this entire region, because they also mentioned Bangladesh and Myanmar.
Zawahiri and his various affiliated terror outfits have had their eyes on Indian militant outfits for a long time. Osama bin Laden, Ilyas Kashmiri and Zawahiri too have supported, trained and funded several terror outfits in India. Many terrorists apprehended by Indian law enforcement authorities have during investigations admitted to their links with al-Qaeda and discussed joint operations with Indian outfits.
The most recent video that has been released by the al-Qaeda is not very new, meaning that if you review the propaganda material of the al-Qaeda since 9/11 in 2001, 13 years ago, even during the time of bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, there used to be references to the subcontinent and the suggestion that the Muslims of India could also be encouraged to go down that path. But if you look back at the last decade, I think one of the characteristics was that while the al-Qaeda was able to attract recruits from almost all over the world, India was one place where they did not meet with any success.
Tufail Ahmed of the Jihad and Terrorism Threat Monitor or Middle East Media Research Institute says it is possible that the al-Qaeda hasn't been able to do something spectacular like the Islamic State led by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi and therefore is under pressure now to mount a major attack. India must take this development with utmost seriousness, he says.
India, we are a big country, we have a lot of diversity in religion, in the culture, in the ethnicity. We also have a lot of poverty still in some parts of the country, and that makes us a very fertile ground for recruitment, to find people, to mislead them into believing that jihad is the only answer for future.
For quite some time now, al-Qaeda videos have been extolling Indian Muslims to be part of jihadi battlefields in Syria and Yemen and instigating Kashmiri youth not to settle for democracy, rather to pick up Kalashnikovs and stones rather than democracy and dialogue.
I think one has to be careful about Kashmir because Pakistan, the army and ISI in particular, is very keen and interested to disrupt elections which are going to happen in the next couple of months in Kashmir. And I think the latest instrument which they are using is al-Qaeda.
Indian separatists in Kashmir have taken support from terror outfits in Pakistan in the past. In fact, they continue to claim ideological connections with many militant groups in Pakistan. However, there's little connecting them with the al-Qaeda. But with provincial elections due in Kashmir this year, security agencies will have to keep a strict vigil on the line of control that serves as a border between India and Pakistan. Internal security in Kashmir and rest of India will also be under strain in the coming months with the festive season in October and November and provincial elections in 4 states. Indian Home Minister met with senior intelligence officials to discuss new security measures to be taken following the release of the al-Qaeda video. In the video, Zawahiri speaks about Muslims in Kashmir, Gujarat and Assam, where anti-insurgency operations or communal clashes have taken place in the past and received global attention.
They find that India, Bangladesh, Myanmar and such areas where Muslim minority and majority both exist together and nearby, in Pakistan, Bangladesh, there is a possibility of extending in this area. Lately, their focus is on India, which is the biggest Muslim population in this part of the South Asian region. So, but now they have issued a warning. So we are warned. In any case, we would have known earlier any movement.
Former CIA analyst Bruce Riedel warns India not to take the al-Qaeda threat lightly, saying al-Qaeda wants to portray Prime Minister Modi as an enemy of Islam. Mr. Modi delivered a landslide victory to his BJP party in May 2014, pledging to treat all Indians equally regardless of religion. That pledge will be under test in the coming months if the Al-Qaeda goes beyond just issuing videos and activates sleeper cells in India via its proxies. Laying quite a lot of blame on Pakistan for fueling terrorism in South Asia, Bruce Riedel in a recent essay says, "The domestic politics of Pakistan are central to this drama and to this threat," adding, "In short, the Pakistani army and its ISI spies are once again playing with fire with India, the LET and Kashmir in order to secure domestic gains against their civilian leaders."
American analyst Bruce Riedel, who has been connected with the intelligence agencies, has said that the Pakistan's army and ISI are involved in helping Al-Qaeda against India. One must understand that ISI's sole objective has been to destabilize India, balkanize India, and to that extent it is going to go to any extent. In fact, as far as Pakistan army is concerned, they are willing to suffer themselves in order to inflict damage on India. And to that extent, there are so many occasions, so many instances where one can see that things that were beneficial to Pakistan have been objected to by the army just because it will probably help India.
The Al-Qaeda video extols people of the Indian subcontinent to start Qaedat al-Jihad in the Indian subcontinent, seeking to raise the flag of jihad, return Islamic rule and imposing Sharia across the Indian subcontinent.
I totally condemn what al-Zawahiri has said. It's an insult to India, to Indian Muslims, and I appeal to all Indian Muslims, ulama, leaders, to reject this nonsensical call by al-Zawahiri, and this shows the weakness of al-Zawahiri and al-Qaeda. They have failed in the West Asia, and now after their failure, they want to exploit the sentiments of the people of South Asia, and I want to tell them that people of South Asia unitedly will fight this call by so-called Al-Qaeda. Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs and Christians, we will all unitedly stand up against this kind of effort to create differences, to create upheaval in our society, and this has to be fought totally without any reservation.
See, as far as India is concerned, it's a secular state. Indian boys, Indian young people will have to understand that their future lies in strengthening Indian democracy. Their future lies in supporting Indian secularism rather than getting driven to any such elements which are provoking them to take to the line of terror, etc. I would appeal to my young Muslim boys that they should not fall victim to such temptations, and you don't get anything by violent means, you don't get anything by terrorism.
Well, civil society members in Bangladesh and India have come out strongly condemning the video and asking the youth not to get swayed by Zawahiri's inflammable words. In Pakistan, the voices are muted. The Foreign Office was quick to say that the government had no information whether Zawahiri was in Pakistan. The Pakistan-based Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan TTP Jamaat-ul-Ehrar group hailed Zawahiri's call. Ehsanullah Ehsan, spokesman for the group, tweeted, "We welcome the new announcement of the subcontinent branch of the Al-Qaeda. We believe the branch will work hard for the achievement of the rights of Muslims in the subcontinent." It's going to be tough days ahead for South Asia unless the governments here decide to cooperate on counter-terrorism with each other and globally to crack down on terror organizations. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you for watching South Asia Focus.